The new Civic isn't as dramatic on the inside as it is on the outside. Still, it looks modern thanks to the flurry of asymmetric cues. It is well thought out cabin too, with most controls falling to hand easily. With Honda cabins being top-notch as far as ergonomics are concerned, we were surprised by the placement of USB, HDMI and 12 volts charging ports that are hidden behind the center console and are extremely difficult to locate. Overall plastic quality is quite good, and stuff like the soft touch dash top and door pads, not as good as the Octavia's, feels premium. But lower down, the hard plastics around the gear lever isn't great, and fit and finish is a notch or two down on the standards set by some of its competitors. The 7-inch infotainment system, on paper at least, can hardly be faulted. You get 2 USB sockets, 1 HDMI jack, Bluetooth, reverse camera with zoom function, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto and a sweet-sounding 8-speaker audio system. The system also houses aircon controls, which actually you don't end up using, as you also get conventional physical controls that are easier to use. What we weren't too impressed with was the display quality that isn't a match for the Hyundai Elantras or Škoda Octavia's units, and even its operation has a bit of lag. Digital instrument cluster though is one of the highlights of the Civic's cabin. The sporty fonts and the colors are easy to read, and with the help of the steering-mounted buttons you can see and control music, Bluetooth, telephony, phone book and trip computer. Ingress and egress in the new Civic isn't an easy affair, as the seats are placed low to the ground and you have to squat quite a bit to get in. Once inside, the driver's seat is a comfortable place to be in, and thanks to the electric adjust it's easy to find the ideal driving position. Lateral support too is good, and except for lack of adequate shoulder support there isn't much to complain. The front passenger though won't be as happy, as under thigh support is in short supply and you don't get seat height adjust to eradicate that. Visibility out of the driver's seat is good, and except for the heavily raked rear windscreen, it is easy to judge the car's extremities even in heavy traffic. The rear seat is surprisingly comfortable. There's adequate of knee room for rear seat passengers, and the rear bench itself is comfortable, with decent thigh support and a comfortable backrest angle. Although the rising shoulder line impedes visibility, you never feel claustrophobic thanks to the slim front seat and the cabin's light colors. On the downside, the sloping roofline eats into the rear headroom, and anyone above 5'10" will find headroom to be a bit too compromised. Also, the heavily contoured rear seat back isn't comfortable for the middle passenger, and unless a necessity, the new Civic works best as a 4-seater. Like most Hondas, the Civic's cabin is very practical, with loads of bottle and cup holders present for both front and rear seats. Special mention must also go to the large storage bin under the front armrest that is big enough to swallow large items, and it also houses 2 cup holders. The boot at 430 liters is not particularly big and is just about enough for your family's weekend luggage. As far as equipment goes, the Honda Civic in the top CX comes loaded with features. You get premium features like electronic parking brake with auto hold, sunroof, auto-dimming rear-view mirror, electric driver seat adjust, dual-zone climate control, keyless go, amongst others. Honda hasn't skimmed on safety equipment, and you get stuff like 6 airbags, ESP, ABS, ISO FIX child seat anchor points as standard. Like in the recently launched CR-V, you also get lane watch function that activates the left mirror-mounted camera to let you know if there are any cars in your blind spot when you are changing lanes or turning at junctions. This feature is activated when you switch the left indicator on.